Hey folks, welcome to the stream, and today we are continuing work on our editor and redesign of some of our blueprints. What we got working is we've got the ladders working, we have some weapons here as you can see. We've only added the 4 but we can add the others. We have automatically set up these depending on which type of item that you decide on. As you can see, weapon, and these will be passed into the actual level when we select them. So if we select, for example, this axe and create interactable, we now have this as the interactable. Okay, and you can see that we've got these two set, more info and pick up. Okay, now this particular item data is basically going to get lost at some point. Okay, as well as this DT row number, or that might actually stay but it will refer to something else and it will be actually put in it'll be automatically filled in for whoever's designing the level. Okay, so you can see there that we have a weapon. We can do it with food, so we click on that and you can see there that that is now done, and we can see that these are set up. Now we have completely scuppered the inventory system, but we can work on that. So what we'll do in the meantime is we are going to add to more weapons, and with that I'm going to close everything down. Then we're going to go to our content browser. Then we are going to go to our item helper, and we have our weapons here. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to go to categorized and weapons, and we basically want to add these in. Okay, so for this one we're going to say bow, and for this one we're going to say arrow, and for this one sea axe, and sea axe scabbard. Now you'll notice it's got this structure here, but we don't need this. These are going to get filled in automatically. And spear, and sword, scabbard, And this one is going to be utility knife. And I think we'll leave it at that. We've got bow, got arrow, that's fine. Okay. So, now that we've got those filled out, we've only missed out two, which is, let's do it. Let's just put Axe 3 and Axe 4. Okay. And that gives us all of our weapons that we've got at the moment. So, now that we've done that, what we need to do now is fill in our data tables. So we go to weapon types, and our best idea here is to drag this to here, drag it down a bit so we can see it. Got our halberd, got our axe, got our sword. So the next one we can basically copy that, paste it there, paste it there. We'll fill these in at the end. We're going to arrow, copy that, add one, paste it in there, paste it there. Then we've got our C axe, copy that, add one, paste it there, paste it there, add one, grab this, copy that, paste it there, paste it there, add one, not too much to go. And this is because I'm setting it up to begin with. Obviously you would be doing this as you come across, or sandbox. Sorry about that, I was busy concentrating there. I want to start game development. Can you please give a roadmap? It will be helpful. Thanks. There is no specific roadmap. It really depends on your background, your programming stuff. What you know about programming and stuff is a lot of how you're going to approach it. If it's purely with Unreal Engine, what I normally say is work on widgets, do a menu, understand it, make it fully functional, and then basically take it from there. It's too broad a question to answer simply. It really depends where you are at this precise moment in time. It depends what engine you're going to use. I'm going to assume that you're going to use Unreal Engine. It depends on your idea. I would suggest, as I said, start off with doing a menu, but I would also suggest that you start off with something very, very simple. Like, a good idea is to think of a game that you used to like in the past that is a fairly simple game, and then basically make your copy of it in whatever engine it is that you're going to use. Make it as accurate as possible, starting with the menus, and then basically build up your skills from there. That's how I did it. Not saying that's the right way to do it, but I know it works. But again, a lot of it depends on what skills you already have. I'm just going to fill in some flavor text. Well, that's a pretty good start. I wouldn't necessarily start with C++ in Unreal Engine. It kind of complicates matters. Whereas if you were to use blueprints, you'll understand what blueprints do if you can program. You'll understand the logic of them. So basically you can prototype away with blueprints. And blueprints are supposed to be used anyway. It's supposed to be a mixture of blueprints and C++. So basically prototyping blueprints, and then if you feel it's necessary, then move some of it into C++. Or don't. I've did a game that's on Steam that has absolutely zero C++ in it. So it's not necessarily, it's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But while you're first learning, I would say to get to grips around Unreal Engine, if that's the engine you're going to use, it's easier to get things working and some things happening just using blueprints. Right, so getting there. I want to get it back to where it was, basically. We have done a major redesign, so if I can get it back to where we were, that's going to be a pretty decent it's taken me a couple of days, but that's what happens. Right, so we need to check out our axes here and see what one we're using. Axe 01. Axe 01. Then we've got this one. So VH 02 Axe 01. And then finally Axe. There was basically two kind of the same. It looks like I didn't use the other one, right, which is fine. So we're not going to use that one. Right. So now, in theory, if I click on weapon, we have all our items in here. Okay. And we should be able to add them. And as you can see, it sets them up. Okay. So what don't we have is the question. So if I go back to my editor helper, okay. Now the thing about it is that the editor helper, if I look in the editor helper, we've not got the fires. Now the fires is going to be an interesting one, okay, because it is actually slightly different. But what we're going to do here is we're going to say fire A, then we're going to copy that, then we're going to say fire B, then we're going to say fire C, and then in here we're going to fire D. Now the fire one, as I said, is going to be a little bit different, and I'm not 100% sure I've actually done anything with the fire yet. We have got a BP fire, so we'll work with what we've got for now. Okay. Now if I look at our fire, we've got particle system, outline mesh, object mesh, so that's the kind of normal stuff we're looking at here. right, which is fine. So we're going to go back to our interactable editor tool, and we're going to, well, this one's right at the bottom. Now, yep, okay. So we're going to have fire, can use, needs resource. So that's set up fine. So now we need an item struct, and we're going to duplicate this one. Now this is going to need something slightly different, which is why we did the redesign in the first place. Right, now that's fine. And this is going to need a resource, so we're going to take a look at that in a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a date table, and it's going to be based on the fires. Okay, that DT fire, okay, we've called it D. Well, that's not awfully useful, so DT fire types, UK, and we're going to add 4 because we know we've got 4 different fire types. That's going to be fire A. We're going to copy that and we're going to paste it in there. And this one is going to be fire B. It's going to be fire C. It's going to be fire D. So we're just going to fill these in first, then we'll do the rest. Right, okay, so fire A, we probably need to find out what fires we've got. Right, so if we go back to our models and categorized and fires, right, we can go with that there, that there, that there, that there. Okay, and then we can go to the images and that can go there. That can go there. That can go there. That to there, save all that. Then we're going to save all. Okay. Our next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our thing here. We are going to duplicate that. We're going to drag it up. We're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. Right, except this is not going to be ladder types, this is going to be fire types. Then we're going to do that. Change that to fire. Just making sure these are all correct. Yep, that's good. We're going to break that. That's going to go in there. Image is going to go there. Mesh is going to go there. We should really make that a description, but hey ho. Right, and what we'll do is we'll drag this up so that it's easy to join it, and then we'll drag it back down again. Compile it, save all. Not happy with this big line going through everything. Not that it matters, but it's already got a reroute node. Okay, whatever. Right. So in effect, we could grab this, drag it down here, grab all that, and drag it up here, and that'll make it a bit tidier. Then we can grab this and drag it out a bit. Okay. So this is becoming a bit fun due to the fact that this is all editor stuff, right? There's nothing of this blueprint that's actually anything to do with the game while it's in play. This is all just to allow my level designer to easily add certain things to the game without having to set up the blueprint, because it's basically setting the blueprint up for him when he actually selects to create it. And that's kind of the point here. So now if we look in here, we should be able to pick fires, and there's our different fires. Okay. Now, this is where things get a little bit different, shall we say. right? And that's because our fires need to start at different heights. Okay, so I can show you what I mean by that, right? So if we look at this bowl, right, obviously our fire has to be here or something like that, right? For our fire in here, we can see that we have some wood there, right, which is where the fire is going to start. Okay, similarly for this one, and similarly for this one's going to start up here somewhere. So basically, you'll notice here we have our DT fire types in our struct, right? Now what we actually need to do here is add at least 2 variables, okay? And what we need to say is particle, actually it's not going to be a particle at all, it's going to be a float. Right, that is going to be a float, right? And that's going to be particle height offset, right? And then we're going to have particle, what we're going to say here is we're going to say what's it called again? What's the old particle system called? New one's Niagara, the other one, I'm sure it starts with a C. Cascade. So, cascade system, right? And we're going to add another one, and it's going to be Niagara system. Okay, so this is going to be particle system. And this one is going to be Niagara system. Okay. So now we need to know which particular fire we want. Okay. And we need to go into BP fire. Right, and we'll rename this as Niagara system. and we're going to call it Cascade System. Okay. And we're going to say fire data. Right. That's going to be struct fire. Okay. We're not going to worry about this too much right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our BP, we're going to go to our fire, okay. Now if I remember rightly, I've kind of mucked this up, but I do have a backup, because I know for a fact that there's a fire here, this one here, so I can take a look at this. Okay. And 63.7, and it's fire 00. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to auto activate it just to see it. There we go. So that's okay. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go back to our DT fire types, and for our, not that one, not that one, not that one, it's this one, our particle height is going to be 63.77. okay. Where's our Niagara system? Apparently it doesn't want to show me. And this actually might be... Right, we're going to leave it for now. Right, now we can select these. Okay, we can. Interesting. I would have to say that I think it's that. Right, but it looks like it doesn't like that as a type. Because it's not giving us it here. Right, but we do know that this one is fire. Zero, zero. Okay. And also we need to go to our interactable selection. And when we're spawning, this is what we're going to have to do. Right. So we're going to have to do something similar to this part up here. Which is going to be an absolute pain in the neck, but I'm afraid it's going to have to get done. So what we're going to do is we're going to move all of these back. Right. And then we're going to move these back. And we can actually remove those. And straighten these up a bit. And tidy this up a bit so that it's a bit more obvious. And that's a bit better. Okay. So since we're going to do this fire thing, so up to static mesh is basically the same. So we shall move these up. Right, that's close enough. Right. And we're going to cast to BP fire. then get data table row, right, and it's going to come from here. Okay. And then we're going to set the fire data. Okay. We're going to have to do this first actually. Okay, so what we're going to have to do in our BP fire right, this fire data is going to have to expose on spawn. Okay, and we're probably going to have to do this across the board actually. If we refresh the nodes, BP fire. Right, fire data. Right. So why is it not there? Is it because it's right, okay, whatever. Right, we're not going to worry about that too much. We're just going to set that fire data. Okay. And then we're going to join that to there. Okay. And we'll now move this over. Okay. So now that we've set the data for that, we can actually go into our BP fire, right, and in here, right, basically, as you can see, we have no thing, right? But we're setting the static mesh up. Okay. And the cascade system, that is going to be 0. Right, this is going to be nothing. Okay. So that says Niagara System Asset. That's not, well, I'm going to have to set these both to auto activate so that we actually see the darn things when we actually do it. Right, so I'm going to set these both to auto activate at the moment. You can see the cascade system. Well, that's weird. Right, so that's nothing, that's nothing. That's fine. Particles? Right, so we don't really want to do that. I don't know why it's doing that. Right, but when we come in here, we should be getting our fire data. Okay, and this should be setting our set cascade system. So let's cascade, no. So if we look at our cascade system, right, it says template. And I think we're going to leave it there because I've got a lot of background noise. So thanks for joining. I'll be back later at 8 PM. I shall catch you later. Bye bye for now.